Hey friend, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm Gabby Flater, a faith-led wife, mom of 3, certified nutrition consultant, personal trainer, and passionate about changing lives. I know how frustrating it can be to navigate the health and wellness world. You want to be motivated to prioritize your well-being and wish you were more educated when it comes to cultivating a healthy home. Maybe you're a mom who's completely burnt out and needs a fresh perspective on life, or you're searching for a place to feel seen, heard, and encouraged in a godly manner. No matter if you're doing the dishes, getting your sweat on, or drinking reheated coffee while watching the kids play, there is always an opportunity for growth. If you are ready to finally take action about these desires and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Hey guys, you are listening to another episode on the Get Rooted in Health podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I feel like it has been a little while since I have chatted with you guys, just with, end of the year stuff, holidays, busyness, all the things. But also, I know you guys are busy too, so it's okay to kind of, just have a little bit of a different of a schedule and take breaks from a few things that are normally part of your routine that don't necessarily have to be. And so I just took Christmas week off. I didn't get an episode up on that Monday, which is totally fine by me. And I would rather you guys be spending your time with your family, your friends, your loved ones, doing and creating special memories. So I hope that you are doing well. And by the time you are listening to this episode, it is 2023. Oh my gosh. I can't, honestly, I think time has just been like this weird time warp and like crazy fast. Like it's just flying by since like 2020. More like 2019 for me, but I had a lot of life happen in 2019 and 2020. And it just feels like a huge blur. And it's like, how did we get 3 years fast forward? Like, I can't even comprehend. So if this doesn't encourage you to just make sure that you live every day purposefully and with intention, because man, time doesn't stop. It just keeps going and life just keeps going. But I hope that either you have or maybe you can take time still. There's no right or wrong time to just take some time and reflect on last year. What were some good things that happened in 2022? What were some challenging things? What was hard? What are some areas that you want to grow in? And what are you excited about for this new year? So I hope that you can maybe just take some time. What are some fun memories that you had? I want to spend some time for sure, just kind of like breezing through. It's really easy these days with like technology, and we have all these memories that pop up on your Facebook or like your Google Photos or whatever. It reminds you of where you were a year, 2 years, 3 years ago. And that's really cool. But I want to spend time maybe going through some photos from last year. And each month, just jotting down a thing or two that were really memorable for that month. And just kind of create a little, I don't know, my own little journal piece on it. And just reflect on each month and what each month brought. And kind of recap the year that way. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll turn into an episode. That would be really neat. But honestly, today's episode is just kind of a quick catch up, and just sharing some really neat and fun traditions, which reminds me, I forgot to bring these 2 books up here with me that I wanted to share with you. I remember I think I remember the names of them. I'm just going to pull them up here from when I ordered them. I'm going to pull it up on my laptop so that I can refer to it for you guys and link to it. I will for sure link to it in the show notes. A couple things that I will be chatting about in this episode. So I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas and that, you celebrated it exactly how you wanted to, how you intended to. I know we can get so lost in so much of the busyness and craziness of it all. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, it's today, December 29th, as my recording day. And it's kind of that weird time of year where you're like, what day is it? Oh, okay, my husband was off work these days, but now he's working again for a couple days, but then he's going to be off, and you're just like, I don't even know. But if you live anywhere here up in the Midwest, and honestly, I don't know what other areas of the U.S. got hit, but like, man, we got slammed with the nastiest, cold, bitter, chill to the bone weather, and literally like negative 10 degrees, but with high winds that made it feel negative 30 to negative 40 here in Wisconsin. That was the Thursday before Christmas, or the Thursday leading into Christmas weekend is when it really picked up and it got heavy. We didn't get as much snow as they were talking about, but I heard a lot of places did. The lake effect got some pretty wicked snowfall. So kind of grateful that we didn't get slammed with too much of that just because of travels, and just made it way easier for all the things we had planned and for all of our family members to be able to show up. But man, so we got hit with that for like a solid 5 days. I would say 4 or 5 days. And today, believe it or not, it was like 52 degrees. And I'm outside with no gloves, no hat. My boys don't have jackets on. They just have sweaters. And it was beautiful. It was like spring. So it's just crazy. The complete difference, the complete opposite. So you better believe we are getting out when we can, because I just felt so cooped up over the holidays, which is fine. It was honestly perfect timing because, you don't really want to feel like, oh, I should go outside. Or like, it's not like you're really planning on going many places. You kind of get to your destination, or you're staying home for Christmas, and you kind of hunker down. So the cold weather definitely was okay, but I definitely was like, I just want to like stay outside for a hot second and get some fresh air. So the boys and I always say the boys and I, that includes Juliet too. The kids and I got out on a walk. They tried out their new scooters they got for Christmas from some family. And I pushed Juliet in the stroller, and we got in a beautiful 2-mile walk. So that was wonderful. It was definitely needed. So I hope that you're able to get outside wherever you are in the Midwest during this time and just make the most of it. Honestly, if it's at least like 25, 30 degrees or higher, like we're going outside for something, or we're just, we're going out on a walk. Because it just boosts your mood, kills some energy for the kiddos, and it's just good for the soul, good to do. A little bit of sunshine. And so I don't know what you guys do for Christmas, but I thought it would be fun to just kind of share some of the things that I had kind of focused on this year, and some of the things that we did, some family traditions that we do, and just kind of sharing some highlights to either encourage you in, making some fun traditions of your own, just to hear different perspectives and stories. In my motherhood journey and my adult life here, as we have created a family of our own here and do things our own way for Christmas. So as I am recording this, I should say, as you hear me taking deeper breaths, I am 29 weeks pregnant today on the 29th. So rolling right into the new year, and I'll be like it's crazy, like 10-ish weeks away from meeting our fourth child. So that's kind of where we're at here. Everything is going just fine. She's kicking around and feeling good and still able to move. I'm definitely recognizing that I am slowing down, just in terms of like how I get up. I can feel the tightening, the Braxton Hicks type contractions in my stomach. Some definitely in some exercise moves. I'm definitely able to I can run, which is crazy because I was not able to run this, or I was, but I didn't really care to run this much as far into my pregnancy. And honestly, I'm feeling good, so I'm just going to go for it here. I wear a support belt while I'm running these days for a little extra help. But definitely modifying some other moves and just slowing down a bit as I'm getting winded a little faster, but that's okay. It's all good. I should also update you. There's so many things before I get into my Christmassy stuff. I did, super exciting. If you hadn't noticed on any of my posts or stories that I had shared, I signed up and started the pre-postnatal fitness specialist program. So I will be certified in that hopefully before this baby comes. I can get it done. I definitely have enough time to get it done. Just have to prioritize it and kind of wiggle it right into the schedule of my days. But super excited and just already blown away by the amount of information I've absorbed. It's more just like statistics, and this beginning part is just a little bit more about pregnancy and it's not like all the nitty gritty detail things. It's just a little bit more general and broad, kind of covering its bases. But just knowing like this is my fourth time around, and so much of it makes so much more sense now, knowing more of the like deeper details, like some of the statistics. Like I knew general things, but I didn't know some things on a deeper level. And I was like, wow, like, and a woman who exercises in the first beginning part of her pregnancy, like, is more likely to have a larger, higher functioning placenta. Like, that is your baby's home, and that is your baby's source of everything. And so, like, that's fascinating. I did not know that. I mean, I guess I kind of could have like put the pieces together that it was probably supporting that, but like just the fact that that's a statistic that's out there, that a woman who moves her body when pregnant is more likely to have a larger placenta that functions at its prime, at its better, so that your baby can be nourished more. So I just think that's so fascinating. So I am loving what I'm learning, and I can't wait for more things. So I'll be kind of diving more into the female anatomy, pelvic floor stuff, diastasis recti, I think that's how you say it, some of the core stuff. And really looking forward to some of that stuff. So that is what's on the docket for the new year, just to kind of keep rolling through that. So pregnancy as well. And the course, I started that. So, all right. So for some of our Christmas stuff, so we had a few gatherings. We actually celebrated Christmas with some family a week before Christmas with my some extended family on my in-laws side. They're the fun family, the fun side of the family. Like, I feel like everybody has that fun side of the family that you could just hang out with. Like, not all family members are like cool to chill with for an entire day, if you get what I'm saying. So it was really cool. We get together, we do brunch, and then we have a lot of musically talented and a lot of girls, cousins that are in dance and things like that. So we do a bunch of like Christmas songs and also some worship songs all together. Those that want to join, they can. So it's usually a giant crowd of all of us. We get little bells out and do some fun jingly songs with the kids. And we've got little either bongos or the cajon. It's like a little drum thing you can beat on and sit on. We have a keyboard, piano, people play guitar, ukuleles. We've got little girls that love to do little dances and things like that. So it's super fun just to watch everybody's talent come out, and we just spend time worshiping God and celebrating the season and just having fun, singing some fun songs too. So we do that. Then there's, some gifts and just more food and snacks. We have a nice big dinner again later on, and just an all day hurrah. So it's fun. Lots of people and lots of food. So we really enjoy that each year. And then this year we actually did something a little different. So I wanted to, for some reason, I was like, I just kind of want to spend the night at my folks' house. They had just built a new place, and it's just beautiful. And I don't know, it just felt like, sometimes, it's just home. It just feels like you just want to be with your family, and we didn't want to have to drive like an hour in the freezing cold. This was the day that it like started to hit that negative, nasty weather. And so we packed up, and it was perfect timing because we just spent the night, and we didn't have to pack up 3-4 hours later and drive home and get home at like 11 o'clock or midnight. Like it was nice because they are a little bit further of a drive for us, but it was nice to hunker down. They have a nice, fireplace that they have in their home, a wood stove they heat their house with, and we just had a wonderful ham, and I made a delicious like sourdough based dough, and then I rolled it out. I shared this too. It was literally the most beautiful thing I've ever created. Like, I don't even know how I did it. I watched a video. But I saved it from Instagram when I saw it. And so then you like layer cheese and spinach artichoke dip in between each layer of these circles. And then you cut it into pieces, and then you twist it, and it looks like a Christmas star wreath type thing. I'm making it for a New Year's party because it was so good. It's actually pretty simple. It's not that complicated. So that was fun to share with my family because I knew like my kids and my husband wasn't going to eat that. So I just wanted to make it for something to share and something fun to make and new. So just spent time fellowshipping over meals, doing Christmas with my parents and some siblings, and just kind of focusing time together on them. Because Christmas Eve, my parents host as well, but all the extended family comes, and so it's just really hard to get that focus time with grandkids and just all the things. So we were able to exchange gifts on a personal level, and just play games and watch a movie and sleep over and wake up and do breakfast and all the things. So it was a really sweet thing. I'm not sure that we'll make it happen every year, but it was just a really sweet memory to make, and who knows, maybe every now and again that'll happen. But we usually try to celebrate Christmas with them if we can make it work before we would go over there on a Christmas Eve. So that was a couple days before Christmas Eve that we did that. So yeah, we spent the night there, and so my mom made a ham, and then we had some bacon the next morning. So this is from the pigs that they had raised. They raised one for us as well, and we had picked up all the meat when we went out there and brought it home as well. That was one of our things we had to do. So it kind of lined up well because we needed to kind of clear out a little space in their freezer because they were holding like a little over 200 pounds of meat for us. So I spent forever, like 2 hours one evening, like clearing out my freezer, organizing it, trying to make as much space as I could, open slots. And I did pretty darn good. There's still just a little bit of meat left at my parents' house. But this was our first venture, and it's just super exciting. The bacon was delicious. The ham was delicious. We're actually going to have some pork chops tonight. So I'm so excited to have kind of stepped into and dabbling with this homegrown, home-raised, pasture-raised pig. And it's neat to be able to have my family as a resource in that way when we don't have like that kind of land and space and access. And then next year there will be a cow on the line for us. So they'll be butchering theirs for themselves here in the next couple days, and then there'll be one ready for us next year to dive into. So we'll probably go with a half cow because we don't need that much beef, and I don't have room for that much beef. So, yeah, just really excited for all those kinds of things. But circling back, so that was those couple things. What else did we do? Okay, so my husband also, he wanted to make sure that he followed the prompting that he had. Our kids were at really good ages to finally dive into this. We did the Advent readings, where you get like the candles. They're like three purple ones and one pink one, and they each stand for something different. And then on Christmas Day, so these are like the 5 Sundays leading up to Christmas, you start the Advent wreath, the candle wreath or something. And so there's a reading that goes along with it that he would do on Sunday. He would light the candle. The boys loved getting to help, get to blow the candle out, talk about what each one meant, the coming, of Jesus. And then on the 5th day, there's like a white candle in the middle that's lit. And you have them all lit on that final day. So we did the final one at our Christmas dinner at home with just our family, and that was just a sweet time, and just to see like him take that role on and be able to lead our family through that, a new tradition. He was really excited. His dad would do that, and so I think it was neat that he ordered the candle things, and because I was like, I didn't grow up doing that, and I don't really know much about it, but happy to support you, and excited to have that be a part of our Christmas traditions, and teaching our kids the value that we have for Christmas and what it means to us. So prompted a lot of good conversations. I encourage you to look into that, the Advent wreath, and could be something that maybe, I don't know, you look into for your family. And then another thing, which, excuse me, wasn't as consistent, just days were different, or sometimes I just forgot because it was new, but I will be pulling this out each year, and I will link to this, and I'll try and link to the the Advent wreath thing in the show notes too. But these 2 books I had come across, so I started, I think I mentioned I was reading a book by Ann Voskamp called, what's it called? 1,000 Gifts. And then I think I saw someone share. I was trying to remember how I found out about this. An Advent book by her. And they were excited to use it this year. And I was like, I had no idea. And you can do it with your kids. So then here I am looking it up online. And then another one pops up on Amazon, like an adult one called The Greatest Gift, and it's called Unwrapping the Full Love Story of Christmas, by her as well. And so I got Unwrapping the Greatest Gift, A Family Celebration of Christmas, and then the Unwrapping the Full Love Story of Christmas, which would be more for the mom or the adult. And I didn't get through every single day, but it basically follows the days of December, like a devotional would. So December 1st, there's a reading. December 2nd, it's not just like a book. You read a few pages. It's super doable, really doable. So if any moms really want something for themselves, definitely the Unwrapping the Full Love Story of Christmas is a couple pages, and then it gives you some questions and reflection questions to think about, maybe a prompt for you to focus on for the day. I love it. It was really neat, and I can't wait to really fully dive into it next year. And same thing with the kids, it was really neat to have these stories shared from the Bible, foreshadowing Jesus coming, and just sharing little prompts and ways that we can show God's love or implement it into our day, and just fun little questions. They talk about the Jesse tree. We didn't really do that we don't have any of those resources, maybe next year. So I don't know, maybe if you are looking for a really good, reliable, and a lot of people do an Advent calendar, and I just never got my act together and did anything like that, where you have a reading for the day, or a piece of chocolate, or you open the door and whatever, Everybody has their own spin. You unwrap a book every day and you read it. So I know there's so many different things out there. So I look forward to pulling this out again next year and fully getting into it. But it was really neat to have a reading of some sorts to do with the kids, on the mornings or the evenings that we could get around to it. So I will be sure to link those in there. So those were some newer things that we had done in terms of just like reading or like not educational, but yeah, just leading our kids into a little bit more purposeful, like this is, Christmas and what we focus on here as Christians, and there's a lot of fun and a lot of other things, but we also want to make sure that we're focusing on the right meaning and all of those things, because it is very special and the basis of the foundation of our faith. So just we implemented those, and really looking forward to seeing how that unfolds as we add this little one into our family soon, and our kids get older and we can have more conversations and cultivate rich conversations and things around the table with those things that we do together during that time of the year. So with that, we did those. We did some Christmas cookies. Guys, I don't even know how I whipped all these quick Christmas cookies up. I went crazy in a week. My mom came over and my sister, and I had made 4 or 5 different doughs the night before and left them on my porch in the cooler so that I was prepared. We did sourdough sugar cookies, regular sugar cookies, peanut butter blossoms. I did an Italian ricotta cookie. Oh, those were so good. Super good. With a touch of almond extract in the frosting. Yeah, I'm all for it. And then what else did I do? I did some peppermint Oreo ones. They weren't necessarily my favorite. A lot of people liked them, but I probably won't make them again. Plus, probably because I don't really care for all the ingredients that were in it. I'd have to figure out how to healthify it. But I just went all out. And then I made, monster cookies. Those ones were my favorite. They were the Half-Baked Harvest. That's her blog or her brand name. I actually got her cookbook for Christmas from a friend. So super excited to dive into that. But those are really good cookies, the monster ones. What else did I make? And then, this is a super fun one with the kids. So I had to let go of just some things. I didn't fully plan ahead, and I didn't want the wait and the price tag sometimes just needing to get the nicer, cleaner brand of some sort of candy or whatever. And I went for it. And so we got the little pretzel circle rounds, and I gave each boy a tray. And I told them, okay, you each get to line your trays with the pretzels. And once it's full, then we're going to unwrap all these candies. So we had Hershey Kisses, peanut butter cups, Rolos, and then we had M&Ms. And so then I said, okay, you get to pick the candies out and you have to cover all the circles on your tray with candy, and then we'll cook them, and then you get to smush a little pecan on either the Rolos or the red and green M&Ms. You can push one on there. And that is honestly one of the more stress-free, because, it's fun to do cutout cookies and things like that and involve your kids in the Christmas baking. But sometimes moms, we get to be a little bit control freaks, don't we? And we're no, we're sharing those. Don't lick, don't eat, don't touch. And we get a little over the top with it. And so I'm willing to let them help to an extent. And sometimes it's just the sugar cookies. They're not to share with anyone. They're just for us. They do them how they want. I really don't care. Eat the dough, lick the dough, make them, break them, thick, thin, whatever. Sometimes it's just you have to let go of the intensity of it and the whole organization of it, and just be know what? Here, you guys can do this. And since my mom had come over, some of my siblings, the aunties got to help do that with my 2 boys. So that was fun. They could kind of monitor it a little bit more, and they didn't have to do it with mom, So I did a little bit with them. And it was super special. So made a ton of cookies this year, and ended up actually just being able to gift some people some cookies, bless people with those, and then be able to take some to some parties on Christmas Eve. And honestly, I got rid of them all. That's my goal. Is I just don't want them all sitting around. So I had put them in the freezer, and then when we got that giant cold snap, I just popped them in a box in my garage because they stayed cold there. And I just kind of organized my plates and platters as I knew people were coming and stopping by and I wanted to give them one, or we were going somewhere. And yeah, I maybe only threw away a little bit just because like they were leftovers from sitting out at a party, and you're just kind of like, I'm not really sure. Like there were just a lot of people and germs and fingers, and it's not even worth it. It's just a bunch of sugar and dough anyway. So tossed just a couple, but I did make a healthier version of those pretzel rounds. I used just pretzels, so nothing fancy there. But you could buy gluten-free ones if you need to. And then I did have some organic, like dark chocolate that was sweetened with coconut sugar. These ones were from Thrive Market, or you could do like the Hue Kitchen if you've ever heard of that brand. Very similar. And so I put a few pieces inside the circle, and then I melted them. And I kept putting them back in because I was like, they're not melting, but they're looking melty. And so then I pulled them out after like the third time I had let them go back in, and I just kind of spread it and smushed it around inside the circle with a spoon, and it worked great. So I was like, oh, okay, they just need a little help. So just kind of like swirl it around, smooth it around so the chocolate was all melty. And then I had these, it's the Unreal brand, and they have M&Ms, and they don't use artificial dyes or any of that. And I wanted Juliet to be able to have some options to eat a few things that didn't have the red dye 40 in it, like so much Christmas candy does, guys. I was like, I had to turn my head so many times where I was like, fine, just use the candy, eat it. Like, I was like, I'm going to let loose a little bit, and we're just going to go with the flow here and enjoy it and make some memories. And you know, each year I can do my best. And so we do our best with, you know, what we can, and implement the healthier things. But also just sometimes it doesn't happen, and it's okay. I don't have to be perfect at it every single time. So I hope that you can give yourself grace, and just know like, hey, I'm pretty crunchy with things, if you want to call it that. But I also can be okay with just like not, and letting go of some of that stress. And so then we put the little M&Ms on there, popped them in the freezer, and they're really, really good. So I still have a little bag in the freezer because I didn't share those with people. Those were for us, with the dark chocolate and the special M&M candies. And they're really, really good. Juliet loves them. The boys will still eat them, and I pop a few every now and again. So they're a really nice thing to have. So I don't know what kind of Christmas baking you do. I love being in my kitchen, so it was super fun. But like I cranked it out in a week because I've also had sourdough orders, since November and all of December. So I think I had 1 week where I had none, which is fine. I think it was the week after Thanksgiving. So but yeah, I'm in that final, or by the time you listen to this, I'm just kind of taking a break. I'll just kind of order if people reach out to me, but I'm not going to advertise it. Right now, just need space to be able to think about other things like my prenatal, postnatal course that I need to spend time on, and just really cultivating time with my boys and Juliet before this baby comes, and kind of getting ourselves ready and stocked full with just extra things in our freezer and all of that stuff so that we are prepared. We did a lot of fun Christmas baking. I'm totally into the Christmas music. My kids are. We do all the fun stuff, and we listen to just listen to that on repeat when my husband's not around because it's not his favorite. But truly, I get really nostalgic, and I just love this time of the year. We watched a couple Christmas movies, but so kind of going back to some traditional things. So before we had kids, Alex and I, we come from large families, and more on my in-laws side, there are a ton of marrieds, and have only been more marrieds since Alex and I got married almost 10 years ago. So we've only added more different individual families into our whole family. So that means, Christmas Day is going to look different. For my mother-in-law, where not all her kids are going to be home. They're not coming over. We have to find a different day. We celebrated with there was extended family on my in-laws side. Then we did my family. We spent the night. Christmas Eve was we went to my husband's grandparents' house, and they kind of have an open house starting at like 3 o'clock. So we go there earlier, hang out, have a little bit of food, catch up with some family members, and then we leave around 6:30, and we go out to my parents with all my extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, some family friends, and we do Christmas there. So we come there a little bit after dinner, but I snag some food because it's always the same. It's always been the same, an Italian traditional meal, a tortellini with a tuna sauce, actually, and I never knew it was tuna until I was like an adult, and I was like, are you kidding me? I had no idea. And then there's these Italian breaded, deep fried things called fritollis. So you basically make a batter and you dip like things like apples, dates, cauliflower, broccoli. They tried onions this year and they didn't save me any. I was like, well, why didn't you think of me? And then fish, I think, is another one they do. And so they roll it in the batter, and then they deep fry it, and then it's just like inside this dough ball. So it's just a thing that I've had my whole life. So then there's salad and all the things. So just a really traditional, just basic to traditional to us Italian meal. So that's that, and so that's Christmas Eve. So then Christmas Day, and we've done this ever since we've been married, and we've kind of just kept it as our day because we have so many family gatherings and so much family to spend time with. We just needed a day at home. And so everyone just kind of does their thing on Christmas morning. So we spent time, my husband and I, we spend time just at home on Christmas. And before we had kids, we started a tradition to watch musicals. So we would go to the library, we would make a list, and we would buy a handful of musicals, and we would watch those throughout the day, enjoy food, open gifts, watch more musicals. So obviously we got through a lot more of musicals and like really old ones, which was really cool before we had kids. But once we started having kids, it just looked a little different. Some of them were more of the more modern ones. Some of them were more like the Disney musical type. This year we did Oliver, and then we did Hunchback of Notre Dame, however you say it, the cartoon animated one. And then we did, the kids watched a little bit of The Greatest Showman while we were making dinner. And then Alex and I watched one called La La Land. Wasn't really my favorite. We didn't really care for it, but we did it and we watched it. We can say we've seen it, but we've watched so many old ones, like, yeah, Seven Brothers and Seven Wives or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it is. Fiddler on the Roof, Music Man, Sound of Music. Like, we've done so many. Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Is that what it's called? I think that's it. I don't know. So yeah, we've just kind of been into that, and we do cinnamon rolls, we do bacon, we do just like a super light lunch where it's like a beef stick and veggies and fruit or whatever. And then dinner is usually like a steak and fries, or like I make sweet potatoes, and yeah, we just enjoy the food. And I've made like shrimp Alfredo before, and yeah, so we make it really special, and we stay home. We do gifts with our kids throughout the day. They get to open stockings, and I give them each an ornament. I love to give them something that they were into for the year. There wasn't really something for Juliet that I really had specifically, so I just got her a really cute one that was a wooden one with her name engraved in it. Titus is really into Spider-Man, so I got him a Spidey ornament. And then Alex and Winston are totally into disc golfing, so I got them some disc golf ornaments. So I don't know, maybe some of you do that too, but that's a really fun way to just have a traditional little thing for ornaments so that our kids have things to grow up and have for their trees, because I know we've been given so many from our childhood for our trees that I want to be able to build that up for them over the years. So it's really neat to look back and be like, oh, when you were 3, like you were totally into Spider-Man, and we have that ornament to remind you of that. And, we have all the baby's first Christmas ornaments and all that stuff. So, yeah, so that is a lot of what we have done for Christmas this year. And then the day after Christmas, we had our final celebration at my in-laws side with just like immediate family, so my husband's siblings and all the cousins and stuff. So we had that, and that was an all-day thing, like 12-hour day, and it was beautiful and chaotic. But yeah, it's a sweet time of just fellowship and getting to give people gifts and show people that we love them and have thought about them, and bond over food and games and conversation, and let the kids just play and be kids. So those were really special memories created. But definitely celebrated the heck out of Christmas again, and it is over. But just truly trying to remember, like, this time of the year, like, just slowing down, reflecting, and just taking these next few months to kind of hunker down a little bit, as I know that my life is going to get a little more busy in 10, 11-ish weeks here. I'm pretty confident in this due date. It's in the middle of March. I don't like to really fully push out the date publicly, just because my Juliet was 2 weeks past her due date. But we also didn't have an early ultrasound done with that one, and I'm pretty sure we were just that off with, all of that. And we just knew with it being tax season, we needed to have as accurate as we could. So we went for the ultrasound. Plus, I didn't really have a period in between Juliet and this baby, like I never do when I'm nursing. And I needed to have some solid information, some inside information on when this baby's coming, because we kind of need to be as prepared as we can, because my husband will be very busy, and it will be winter months. And one of the biggest gifts I had gotten my kids was a trampoline. Honestly, it was more, I mean, it is for them, but definitely for me too. So it's more of an adult one too. So like I could do it for rebounding, which we can talk about on a different episode, but it is more of like a fitness adult trampoline. So like I could use it, Alex could use it, and the kids can use it. And as they get bigger, but like I didn't want a little tyke one, because I want to be able to use it. So that is to help us get some energy out in these winter months, because man, sometimes it's hard. I'm not going to send my kids out when it's 10 degrees and tell them to go play. Like, they're going to come in 5 minutes. So, just kind of getting creative with some things to keep my kids busy. And we've been doing a lot of like candles and coloring at the table with candlelight, and just really finding some really sweet, soft, gentle like activities. Yes, of course, we have TV and shows and all the things, but really trying to cultivate some other rich memories and experiences. The holidays don't have to end. It can be just a season of winter before, we're busy with garden or activities outdoors and summer sports and spring sports and all the things. But oh my gosh, I just saw someone share that they ordered their garden seeds, and I was like, oh, do I dare even start? Because I know that I should not at all dabble with any indoor seeds, because that's right when baby's coming, and I probably won't be able to keep them alive. I mean, I probably would, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for listening, and if you made it this far, I mean, I know I just kind of shared a lot of our experiences, but just things that we got to do over the holidays and the memories we created. I still taught a couple classes at the Y, so I was able to engage with my community there and bless them with moving their bodies and little treats and encouragement, and move my body, because it's a staple, and maybe my schedule was just a little different as everyone else's was, but still it's been so ingrained in me and such a habit that like it's not, oh, the holidays are here, I'm taking 2 weeks off. That doesn't really happen in my world. So, but however you need to spend your holidays and whatever it looks like for you, you need to do it because you want to, and that's what's best for you. And I really, truly hope that you just embrace it and that you choose those things for you and aren't doing things because of other people, or just unplug from social media, whatever you need to do to really just enter in. So, enter into the new year here with just our arms and eyes wide open, ears wide open, just to hear and feel the promptings of what is coming your way, and to be willing to try things. So I look forward to having some conversations with you guys as we roll into the new year with just mindset and what to focus on, and just a lot of things. And then just tons of golden nuggets along the way with fitness tips, health tips, wellness, mom, all the things. So I really appreciate you being here and spending this time with me. Just wanted to kind of catch you guys up on some things. And if you have any questions, if you need anything, you know where to find me. You can find me on Instagram at gabby.getrootedinhealth.com. If you are not following my podcast, it's at Get Rooted in Health Podcast on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Gabriella Flater. My email is always linked in the show notes. You can email me with questions, concerns, topic ideas. And then what else? I have... the sourdough orders are they're taking a break, but if you personally reach out to me and want to schedule something, totally willing to do that. But follow my stories, follow my posts, and make sure that you're on that email list so that you don't miss a thing as we kind of roll into the new year and see what's to come. So with that being said, Happy New Year, friends. Go make greatness happen in your life. And we will chat with you next week. Bye.